home again. Dunedin sexual abuse survivor Darryl Smith back in the familiar surrounds of the city's railway station, swapping travel stories with a couple of Australian tourists. Smith was the only survivor from New Zealand at the inaugural World Sexual Abuse Survivors Week in Rome.
We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of children in New Zealand and worldwide, well and truly in the millions of children who are affected by this.
Before the trip, he was given a letter of introduction from Dunedin Bishop Michael Dooley, who also personally helped fund Smith's trip. But the letter wasn't enough, as Darryl Smith was turned away from the Vatican.
They looked at us like we were completely crazy, still like thinking that we must have been a bit mad, that we were supposed to send emails, but we'd already done all that, and we were supposed to be allowed to go through because it was Survivors Week anyway.
Although an audience with the Pope didn't happen, Smith says there were many positives from the trip. While at the Survivors Conference, Smith says he listened to harrowing stories from fellow survivors from across the world.
And hearing their stories made me cry inside. I didn't want to let it out because I don't think I was able to come back from it because some of it was so painful. Hearing about nuns raping children, hearing priests raping children, it reminded me of my childhood. I just didn't want to show them that I wasn't strong enough to cope with it.
In Rome, the group Ending Clergy Abuse Global held 5 days of meetings and events, while a gathering of bishops discussed sexual abuse within the Catholic Church. Darryl Smith was among survivors from 21 countries and says there are plans for the future.
To actually challenge the Prime Minister and leaders of the Catholic Church and leaders full stop in this country who are involved in harming children who have been harmed in their care, to actually start presenting their books to the people of New Zealand and actually being real honest and being more accountable for their actions. Stop hiding behind it, and stop hiding behind the fact that and stating that there's no current cases in New Zealand when we all know for a fact there is.
Smith hopes to travel to more survivors' events in the years ahead, along with writing another book following his first publication, A Shattered Life. In Dunedin, The South Today.